I can't even bring myself to look alarmed. I wear a stony face waiting for the train to come to a stop before standing. I at once feel lightheaded from the lack of food but push through it. One woman who hit the ground hard has a broken arm, but I ignore her. She doesn't want comfort from me, and the look of disgust I'd receive without my mask would be near fatal in my current condition. Instead, I make my way to the back where the door has opened due to emergency protocol, but considering how high up we are, this does the civilians little good. Myself on the other hand. I let myself fall from the train and hide in the shadows far below, reaching into my backpack and retrieving my suit and domino. The outfit is nothing special. Gold and royal blue colors might make me look noble, but it's all tinfoil and sweatshop dye. The mask is cloth, torn in several places but covers my eyes at the very least. Standing in the guise of boy noble, I wait for the feeling of invulnerability and wonder to fill me, but it doesn't. Genuine fear takes root in my empty stomach. Putting on the mask has always been enough, so then why? I grit my teeth, silently admonishing myself, how can I be so selfish when there are people in pain above me? Taking off, I float upwards, though I'm slower than normal. With the strain from my power sitting in my lower back, it's like I've decided to exercise on an empty stomach, not like I have a choice. Passing the perilously lilting train, I find my nemesis drifting above it, same as me. Scarlet Crane. I greet. The man before me is lithe, dressed in a far more elegant mask than my own, which covers his eyes and extends beyond. He wears a stylish outfit with a length of fabric connected to each arm that makes every move look like a dancing bird on fire. I used to think the outfit was ridiculous and over the top, which, fair enough. But now I just think how much it must have cost next to my own bargain bin costume and Halloween store mask. Boy noble. He sneers. How fortuitous running into you here. I don't answer, instead adopting a fighting stance. Even just floating here is draining my stamina. My breathing becomes faster and beads of sweat form on my brow. I'm winded and the fighting hasn't even started all while my stomach screams at me. The ache is simply too much. Scarlet Crane quirks a brow. He says something, but I don't hear it as the edges of my vision begins to darken. Landing on the roof of the train, I fall to all fours and retch like a dog, but there's nothing in my stomach to lose besides bile. The last thing I see are a pair of scarlet boots before passing out. I wake an indeterminate amount of time later and startle upwards before my arm screams in reproach. I look over to see a tube that starts at me and goes to a humming machine. Is this a hospital? I look down and find I'm laying in a cartoonishly large bed with scarlet satin sheets. Look who's awake. A voice says in a bored tone. I startle, turning to see an unfamiliar man. He has medium black hair and a sharp chin. When he looks at me, I see blue eyes which bore into my very being. They're familiar in their distaste, eyes that have seen me at my best and worst, so why don't I recognize them? How do you feel? He asks, but his tone implies he doesn't really care. I'm better, I answer, glancing down as I try to remember what happened. Good, then I don't feel so bad. So bad about what? I ask before receiving a sharp jab to my shoulder. About that. He snaps before adding. What the hell were you thinking coming after me in your condition? I know it's in the name, but noble or not, what you did was stupid and reckless. My eyes widen, my free hand going to my face, but my mask is missing. The man doesn't seem to notice or care as he barrels right ahead. Do you know how close you came to dying? When's the last time you ate a full meal? My butler said we couldn't even wait for you to wake up and eat something on your own. We had to give you fluids because your stomach was so empty. I feel tears well up. Whoever this person is yelling at me, they're the only one who's shown me an ounce of humanity in weeks. Covering my face, I feel the tears drenching my hands and spilling onto the covers. I'm sorry. I say at last, though have no clue what I'm apologizing for. Apparently neither does the man, whose tirade ends quite suddenly. What the hell are you apologizing for? He asks, alarmed. Just then the door opens to reveal an older man with gray hair. He wears a fine suit and carries a tray, though stands in the doorway for a time. Already made him cry? Why, you are a villain, Master Crane. The butler says knowingly. Why, you're Scarlet Crane? I ask in alarm. Son of a, he exclaims, throwing his hands up in exasperation. Put it on a sign, why don't you, Bartrand? The man admonishes. Well, I believe you were the one who chose scarlet bedsheets, sir. The butler says, sniffing loudly. The man opens his mouth, counter already forming, but turns when a laugh escapes me. Think that's funny, do you? Well, we're not here to amuse you. He glares as I turn sheepish. No, apparently we're here to beat up a starving child every other week. Bartrand adds. Obviously I didn't know he was a starving kid at the time. Crane glares. Seriously though. He adds, turning back to me. You're done fighting for those ungrateful, unwashed plebeians. I hope you know that. I am? I ask, feeling a cold sense of dread gripping me from the inside. Hell yeah. I'm not gonna fight you while you're living under my roof eating my food. Wait, what? You're saying I can stay here? I ask, looking around the lavish room. I'm telling you, you're staying here. Seeing as you apparently can't be trusted with your own continued existence. How are you so much like a cockroach when you wear the mask, but apparently turn into a blind deaf kitten when the mask comes off? He asks rhetorically before standing. I'm out of here, you disgust me. He sighs, heading for the door, passing Bartrand as he goes. You're not going to stay and spoon feed him? The butler asks, causing the man's step to hitch before he hurries on his way, grumbling all the while.